Abraham Maslow was born on April 1st, 1908 in Brooklyn, New York to Jewish immigrant parents. He was the oldest of 7 children, and it was reported that he had a lonely childhood, which may have played into his theory that he later developed. He attended City College of New York and later Cornell University before he moved to Wisconsin to study psychology, and it was at the University of Wisconsin where he earned his Bachelor's of Arts, Master's of Arts, and later his PhD. In 1943, Maslow first published his theory of human motivation and outlined his hierarchy of needs. His hierarchy of needs was a triangle, and the base of the triangle, the base level was the physiological needs that he said that a human had to have met before they could progress to any of the upper levels. The physiological needs are food, water, shelter, clothing, warmth, rest, just the basic human needs. Then once those needs were met, the next level is the level of safety, stability, security, things like that. Then it progresses to the next level, which is belonging and love, intimate relationships, friends, and acceptance. The next level of the pyramid is the level of self-esteem, and included in that level is prestige, the feeling of accomplishment, mastery, the things that come from a student accomplishing things of success, having some success in the things that they do. And the final level of the pyramid, the top level, is self-actualization. And this is where Maslow said that one achieves their full potential, and this includes creative activities. And he has been criticized for the top triangle having been closed, as self-actualization is a never-ending, lifelong process, and suggestions have actually been made that that top level should be open and that the whole model should be redesigned to reflect this modification. Maslow's theory was groundbreaking at its time because most other theologians and psychologists had developed their theories based on cognitive and behavior instead of from a humanistic approach. He was the first to emphasize humanistic psychology. His theory is so groundbreaking that thousands of teacher preparation programs, such as the one at West Virginia State University, where I attended and received my bachelor's degree, have modeled their conceptual framework based around a holistic approach to student learning, to teaching. Maslow's theory is still very relevant today. Students that live in poverty are particularly at risk, and they often come to school with those basic needs being unmet. And they're also at risk of living in unsafe communities and or even unstable homes. I have a personal experience with this that has just recently come to our attention. I have a 7th grade student that is a very bright, very intelligent student, but she failed my first 9 weeks class, and it seemed kind of odd to me. However, within the past week, when she was filling out a form for a Secret Santa assessment, one of the things on her wish list for Christmas was bottled water. After further investigation by some faculty members, we discovered that she and her parents do not have running water in their home, and it became clear to us that one of the reasons that her academics are slipping is because she is completely preoccupied with the conditions in her home, because those basic needs are not being met. So although we do not have the science to back it up, there appears to be a direct correlation between her needs not being met and her performance at school. In addition, in the area where I live in West Virginia, we are being hit extremely hard by the opioid crisis, and it has impacted education in our area as well. In April 2019, we had just under 7,100 children living in foster care in the state of West Virginia, primarily due to the opioid epidemic. And this does not even include the number of children that were living in dysfunctional homes that hadn't been removed and placed in the foster care system. And although we don't know the conditions of those homes, this brings us to the third level of the hierarchy, the one of belonging and of love. These children that are in foster care, they aren't with their parents. Some of them may be with family members, but they aren't with their parents. And humans are born desiring love and looking for that acceptance and a sense of belonging. And with so many children being displaced, even if the first two levels of Maslow's hierarchy are being met, most will not ever advance beyond the third level without a great deal of effort on all parts. So how can we expect students to focus on learning and to get to the fourth and the fifth levels of self-esteem and self-actualization when some sit in our classrooms preoccupied with wondering if they're going to have their basic needs met when they get home after that day of school, such as a place to live or food to eat or running water, such as the case with my student, or stability, or someone to even love them. In a perfect world, students progress through all the levels of Maslow's hierarchy kind of automatically, but we know that we don't live in a perfect world. And I think that that's what Maslow envisioned when he developed his theory. And I think that we all need to try to meet those needs, because I do believe that we have to focus on teaching the whole child before we can focus on reaching them on a cognitive level.